Laurent, thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
It's great to get an update from Alcon. You had some positive news in March. You got an FDA approval of a new IOL. Can you bring us up to speed on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you know, we have the Restore family of lenses, multifocal lenses,
Sure.
Refractive lens. And so as we continue building the options for patients and providing them with the full range of vision, the new 2.5 toric Restore basically allows all these patients that have also some ptericity to now benefit from the multifocality of Restore. Also, this particular lens, being a 2.5 in power, has active focus, which really gives great distance vision. And so now we are going to have patients that are going to have not only the full range of vision, but also emphasizing that great quality of distance with the correcting of the astigmatism. So it's a great addition. We have the broadest portfolio when it comes to being able to cater to all these different vision needs, whether it's near, intermediate, or distance. I
was going to say, this is you do have a broad portfolio, but this is getting to be a very competitive space. How does that play into your making sure you maintain your market share?
Well, I think that Alcon, when it comes to addressing presbyopia, really is looking at this in a holistic way. We are investing and have a large portfolio in what we call the light splitting IOLs, right? Mm-hmm. So the multifocality. We also have trifocal panoptics, which is now outside the U.S. doing fantastically well, and hopefully in the U.S. Once it goes through the regulatory process here. So I think that our portfolio is quite broad in the multifocality or light splitting, and then also we have projects that are in the accommodating space. I think at OIS here before we also announced our partnership with or agreement with PowerVision, right, mm-hmm. Who's accommodating lens, who is going to report also today about their progress, and we're very excited about also a mechanical approach to accommodation in presbyopia. Also, we've had a chance also at OIS to talk about our Google and other things that are more on the electronic side.
Sure.
And quite frankly, we're looking at everything from tunability to also some electronic approach to so three pillars, right? The light splitting, the mechanical accommodation, and then everything that has to do with more advanced technology of modifying the optics to tunability, or even more with the electronics.
Anything to report on the Google front? It's always something interesting.
So great progress. I'm actually on their committee with Franck Levellier, our head of R&D. I'm actually going out there in about a week, so hopefully I can come around and tell you. But I think we've made some really nice progress in the technical different milestones that we're trying to reach. And as it was reported here at OIS before, we have two projects, one on the contact lens side and then one on the IOL side. And I think both of those are advancing. Actually, one is leading the other because the contact lens is always the one that's kind of easier to get to because it's outside the eye.
Sure.
But it benefits the IOL progress as well.
Interesting. That's great stuff. And it'd be great if you get a self-driving LASIK machine or something like that.
That's
That'd
right.
be fantastic. How about one of the deals companies you acquired earlier, Transcend, got its FDA approval last year.
Yeah.
Any update on that business?
Well, as you know, the FDA approval came quite a few months earlier than we thought, which was great because it was validation of the technology. And ever since then, we've been not only preparing the market for the launch, and we have launched it, and also in terms of the reimbursement pathway. And we are very happy with our progress there, and I think that we're going to be announcing towards the summer, the pricing levels and things like that. So that will be determinant also for the U.S. market, obviously. But clinically, and we're very satisfied with the results. The technology seems to require a very small learning curve in order to adopt, and I think doctors are finding that out. So I think we're in the launch phase, but more of a controlled launch. Which is voluntary to make sure that it gets the right traction until all the pieces get together, especially with some of the reimbursement piece as well.
Is this a pillar that stands by itself, Meigs, or are you looking for products to potentially complement it?
Great question. No, I think that the glaucoma glaucoma is a disease that's made of a great unmet need, which is really the compliance. I think all the agents, pharmaceutical agents, have demonstrated great ability to reduce IOP, but the problem is that people are either not taking their eye drops or not capable of putting their eye drops effectively every day. and the glaucoma specialists know this best, they don't necessarily see also the real IOP of their patients because they might be putting the drops right before they go to the office visit. So all the MIG space and all the surgical approaches and all these new things, whether it's drug delivery devices, whether it's MIGs, and all these other things are very interesting to us. And we see that across the spectrum from mild glaucoma to mild and moderate or severe glaucoma. And you know that there are different devices for those categories, and we are actively looking in all those. So no, we think that Cypass is a first move, and because we want to address holistically the management of glaucoma and potentially transform it. A little bit like we've seen in other industries, such as the diabetic world, where things have been really quite transformed with all these pumps and a lot of great devices that have really made life easier for the patients. So we want to do the same for glaucoma.
And you announced last year also a deal with True Vision for the Ingenuity 3D visualization system. Any update on that?
Well, I think that we've been in a phase since we announced it of showing, right? And then having people being able to touch it and also commercializing it. And what we're seeing is a surprisingly, again, short learning curve. Because, you're asking a doctor to go from a binocular microscope into an image now that he's looking on a screen. And we were very impressed with all the doctors' ability to, within even the first time for some of them, or very few times, get to the same levels of efficiency of their normal procedure the way they would do it with a microscope. So that was a great learning for us. And then also, obviously, the technology lends itself very well by giving that 3D and that depth of focus to be able to peel the membranes and all the things that we have to do in a retinal surgery. So there's been a very big welcome on that. And then, believe it or not, something that we often don't think about, the ergonomics, right? Doctors will tell you that spending a whole day, 6 hours, 7 hours in the OR with their head down, and they're starting to have back problems, and those are real. And that's also true for the cataract surgeon, by the way. And so giving the ability to have even a different posture in surgery, it has become not such a trivial thing, and it's a byproduct actually of the ingenuity that is quite interesting as well.
So, final question: anything we can expect to hear from Alcon in the next coming months? Anything? Obviously.
So I think that the message is the same. We are open for business and welcome innovation that is presented here and elsewhere, equally as the things that we develop internally. So we are also much more open than before, as well as the way that we go about it and the way that we partner in various shapes and forms, and very excited about a lot of new areas. So, if we have a very comprehensive view, and our level of activity at this meeting, for example, will just be a testimony to that.
Excellent. Well, thanks for taking a few minutes today.
Pleasure.